Yo, what's up? This is Rasan Orange with 10th Planet Watch, sponsored by Melee Fight Gear, and we're here with George Sotiropoulos, the smooth R&B stylist. A rising UFC star and JiuJitsu practitioner. What's happening, my man?
Oh yeah, what's up?
I'm good. First of all, congratulations on whipping Roop's ass in the last fight. Everybody was really impressed. So now you're 3-0. What do you think's the next step for you?
Well, I'm fighting November 21st. Nothing's been signed yet. That'll be in Vegas, and it'll be one fight at a time. So I'll just take them as they come. But I want to go all the way in the UFC. I'm on a mission, and I'm living my dream.
Nice, man. So you dropped from, you were originally 170, right, welterweight, and you went down.
Yeah.
How many fights now have you had at 155?
That was my first one.
Okay.
That was my first one, but it won't be the last.
Yeah. Yeah. The way you said it won't be the last. That's not. I wouldn't want to have to fight. I wouldn't want to have to be on the other end of that with with those kind. When I hear shit like that. So anyway. Yeah, another thing people were noticing is that your hands looked a little crisper in this last fight. Like, who you been training with?
I owe that to my new boxing coach who I've been working with since November last year. That's Leonard Gabriel from Fisticuffs Boxing Gym in Washington State, Vancouver, which is 10 minutes from Portland. I've been going up there almost as much as just as much as I have been coming to 10th Planet.
Oh, cool.
I was living in Vegas for the last 9 months, and then I basically split my time between Vegas, Vancouver, Washington, Vancouver, and 10th Planet, and move in that circle for my training. So I'd go up there, work on my boxing, come down to 10th Planet, work on my jiu-jitsu, and go back to Vegas and work on my sparring. But Leonard Gabriel definitely helped with my boxing. He's a great boxing coach, and I'm actually heading up there pretty soon I'm actually moving to Washington State to train with him year round.
Cool. So no Australian boxing coaches ever, like back in the old days?
Well, when I started, everything I did, I started in Australia.
Right, of course.
And
like Jeff Fennick or something?
No, never worked with him, but
No.
I started my boxing in Australia, and I competed in amateur boxing as well.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I had 10 amateur fights, 1 pro fight, all in Australia. Leonard's been my new boxing coach for the last since November, and I plan on staying with that guy for a long time.
Cool.
And going as far as I can with him.
And how about as far as jiu-jitsu, like way back when you first started out, how'd you get involved in it to begin with?
I saw one of the early UFCs, and I saw Hoist, and I saw the effectiveness of jiu-jitsu against bigger guys, fighting from your back, and I thought I really want to learn that. So I saw it, and I decided there and then that I was going to do this sport and be a fighter, and I got involved in jiu-jitsu not long after that, and I started I started training jiu-jitsu in Australia, and I was training with Machado affiliates, and then I was competing on a regular basis. Like for the first 4 years I just did jiu-jitsu. I got to purple belt, and then I started wrestling, but I was competing in everything I possibly could in Australia, all the local tournaments, and then after about 4 years, I came out to the States and trained with the Machados in LA, and basically every year I came out here and kept training with them.
Fantastic.
And now here I am.
And then
now with 10th Planet.
Exactly, that's the place to be.
Yeah.
I understand that you trained with Matt Serra for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, after the Ultimate Fighter, is that right?
Yep. So I was on the Ultimate Fighter 6, and then when filming was over for the show, that was in July 2007, I decided to go to New York with those guys because I became acquainted and good friends with them. So I headed to New York to train with them, and because they basically offered striking, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, everything I needed to train for my fights. So it was an easy decision to head over there with them because I knew them and I felt comfortable with them. So off I went to New York, and I was there for about a year and a half before I headed back to the West Coast and moved to Vegas. And that's roughly when I hooked up with Eddie. Started coming down to LA, training with Eddie, and then started heading up to Washington State and training with Leonard. And working on those parts of my game, specifically my boxing with Leonard and my jiu-jitsu with 10th Planet.
Did when you were working with Matt Serra, did he ever tell you to keep breathing or whatever, like, and the hammer fist? Yeah, I'm breathing, hammer fist. I love that. He seems like a great coach. Like, when I was watching, I was like, man, that's the guy I would probably want coaching me in my corner. You know, like just the positive, like, come on, you can do it. You know?
Yeah, well, you know, if I was to pick out of the two coaches on the show, you know, he's the guy I would have picked.
Right. Absolutely, me too. Actually, I don't even remember who the other guy. Oh yeah, it was
Hughes.
It was Hughes. Oh my God, yeah. So now training at 10th Planet, do you find like there's any tough customers in there like to deal with? Like, is there anybody who you especially had a rough time with, or was it just like you just ran through it?
No, there's lots of good guys at 10th Planet. You know, Eddie being one of them.
Yeah.
But there's lots of talent on the mat, and you know, when I go there, I try and focus on what Eddie's teaching and, you know, learning his system, because it's foreign. It's a foreign style of jiu-jitsu. I've never really practiced or learnt those techniques before, so now I'm trying to introduce it into my style and my game. So it's a lot of, you know, the rubber guard and, you know, the twister side control and some of the half guard. It's all new to me, so I'm really just trying to focus on that, which is all new to me. So, you know, it'll seep into my game, but I try to avoid using a lot of the stuff that I'm already good at, because I really want to bring out the 10th Planet system and focus on that. So, you know, you basically it makes it a little bit harder on yourself when you you know, limiting yourself to something new, because you're not using all your tools. But you know, I'm adding I'm adding new weapons to my arsenal, so it's all worth it.
And not to mention, you got all these kids like white belts and blue belts trying to make a name off you, right through the drills, getting all you know, trying their like 110%. And
well, you know, you get that everywhere. You know, that happens. It's not just 10th Planet. It happens pretty much every place I've been to.
Right. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was wondering? Do guys try to, like, now that you're on not the Ultimate Fighter, you're in the UFC, do you got guys trying to like challenge you more or less than before? 'Cause I could imagine it could go either way. Like, you know,
what kind of challenges?
You know, like like at a bar or whatever. Like, oh, you know, this guy thinks he's a fucking. You know.
It happened to me on the East Coast. Not so much at bars, but in the gym, you'd get some, you know, wise guys.
Really?
In the gym, you know, tough guys.
Really?
Yeah.
And they want to do some.
Oh, well, it wasn't so much of a fight, but it was just more, you know, smart talk or trash talk.
Okay, yeah. All right. Another thing, is it true that Alder, Coach Alder, would usually get the best of you in you guys' matches? Or
Alder's living a fantasy.
Yeah. It's a fantasy.
He's living a fantasy now, and he always will.
Just remember that, all you out there in 10th Planet world. And myself, I can't remember, but when we were doing the drills, I can't remember if you were able to submit me or not.
Yeah, I think I did maybe about 20 times. Maybe a bit of a daze.
I think you've been traveling too much lately.
Well, you can't remember because you were asleep after I submitted you.
Edit that. Clip that. Anyway, it's a pleasure talking to you, and you know, you're always welcome to come back and train with us anytime. We all appreciate you coming out and representing 10th Planet.
Thanks a lot, fellas. You'll be seeing me from time to time, very often, probably once a month or once every 2 months, coming down for a week or two at a time.
So, and, 10th Planet Burbank or Legends or...
Legends, yeah. Just to get more jiu-jitsu, more of the 10th Planet style into my game, and you know, I'm looking forward to using it in the cage.